From the Roxo Media House studios here in Fort Worth, this is Frogs Today. We are back for Season 6 of our Frogs Today weekly show. Good morning, it's Saturday, January 25th, and I'm your host, Camden Stone.
And I'm Mallory Martyr, host of the Frogs Today pre- and post-game basketball shows.
The TCU versus Baylor rivalry heats up once again as our men's basketball and men's tennis team were in Waco last week and took wins home to Fort Worth.
Our women's basketball team dropped their first Big 12 game of the season at a tough Oklahoma State on Wednesday and host Baylor in the Schollmeyer on Sunday on national television.
Track and field, rifle, and swimming started their seasons, and we have some of the fastest sprinters in the country. And we will get you caught up with that along with senior day at the pool and our defending national champion Rifle Women's beat Ohio State and UTEP and are in action at home again right now as we speak.
Baseball has started opening practice, and that was yesterday, and we are just under a month before first pitch.
We start with basketball when we return, but first, a word from our sponsor, Richard's Rainwater.
The best tasting water comes straight from the sky, leaving just pure, refreshing raindrops in every bottle. Taste the difference, sip the sky.
What do you see when you look up at the clouds? At Richard's Rainwater, we see the greatest source of pure, delicious water looking right back down at us. We've invented a simple, powerful technology to collect and bottle rainwater. Our process begins with the rain. When clouds become saturated, droplets fall from the sky. Rainfall is a naturally cleansing event. During the first few minutes, the raindrops clean the atmosphere and wash away any dirt or debris from surface areas. At this cleanest point in the rain cycle, we collect the pure raindrops into large storage vessels. Then, we use a simple, yet effective combination of ozone and microfiltration to ensure our rainwater surpasses the highest drinking water standards. We pour the pure, refreshing rainwater into glass bottles and aluminum cans, packaging as infinitely renewable as the water itself. Richard's Rainwater is building a network of collection systems across the country to ensure our rainwater is local everywhere. The purest, best-tasting water comes from the sky. Richard's Rainwater, sip the sky.
We are back in the Roxo Media House studios here in Fort Worth, and I'm your host, Mallory Martyr. We got to start with the TCU-Baylor rivalry. It's alive and well. We might as well call Waco Fort Worth as our men's basketball and tennis teams took road wins over the weekend. Hoops got a corner three from Brendan Wenzel with 6 seconds left to take their third straight win at number 25 Baylor in the past 3 years. Ernest Ude Jr. had a career-high 16 points, adding 15 boards along with that for another double-double. 4 guys scored in the double digits. What a response after a tough home loss to Utah. We got to talk to Wenzel on State of the Frogs with Jamie Dixon. He talks about the road win at Baylor.
We talk a lot about getting rebounds, getting defensive stops, because those are huge. You know, we got to play in transition, but in order to do that, you got to get stops. And so we talk a lot about that and rebounding. We need to grab more rebounds, and that was a big thing talked about during halftime. And you know, we said our shots were going to fall whenever they're not falling. You know, I got my point guard, and I got Ernest. I got everyone on the team telling me to keep shooting. So as far as leadership goes, everyone on the team is a pretty big factor just because we all believe in each other. You know, confidence is the main thing, and so I feel like we have a lot of that.
And after the game, what was the locker room like winning that big rivalry game?
I had a lot of water poured on me, but the locker room vibes were good, you know, especially after games like that, rivalry games where you get those dubs. I mean, when I was at Wyoming, I had Colorado State, and that rivalry is huge, and every time we won that game, you know, we would celebrate, and you got to celebrate those games, you know, because those games like that, it's big momentum shifts, and you know it's more than just a win. Whenever it's a rivalry, you know it's a culture thing, and you know whenever you get those, it's huge for the program.
Number 12 Kansas came to town on Wednesday, and our Frogs took that Baylor win momentum into the first half against the Jayhawks and built a 26-12 lead. But top-ranked Kansas responded and trimmed it to only a 2-point halftime lead for the Frogs. The final was 74-61 in favor of the Jayhawks.
We were up 14, but, you know, with 10 minutes left in the first half. And so, you know, we didn't finish as strong in the second half, second part of the first half, I should say. And, you know, I mean, to be honest with you, we just never shot it well all game long. We hit a couple early. threes, and then eventually caught up to us. But defensively, just not good enough. Some live ball turnovers in the second half, especially, gave them transition. But if you really look at it, they had 17 turnovers. We had 5 transition points. We had 12, and they had 14. So they turned our turnovers into baskets the other way. Ours, as we looked at it, were kind of turnovers in the baseline, not an advantage, not a pick six, as we call it. Defense was not good enough, and part of it was that. The other part of it was pressure we wanted to have on the ball was not sustainable. Our ball screen coverage not quite as good as we wanted to have, and they simply just wore us down. Their bigs hurt us, and we didn't get it done. I think we got frustrated with the missed shots, and our defense kind of didn't step up when we needed down the stretch. But 1-point game, 10 minutes left, we got the lead, and missed 2 wide open shots. 2 wide open shots. You know, I think it just wore us down, and that's the thing when I talked to our guys about today was it can't wear you down. Like, our good offense, don't make a shot. We've got to recover defensively. We've got to get the job done. And we did it for a while, but not down the last 10 minutes.
KU head coach Bill Self talked about their slow start, but also credited TCU. The Frogs head to Orlando to take on UCF this afternoon at 3 p.m. Fort Worth time. Here's what we know about the Knights.
Guard dominated. They really rely on penetration, getting to the basket. They got a number of guys that can do it. Johnson, Ivy, Curry, and of course Hall. So they rely on those guys to get to the basket, create on their own, get to the foul line, get layups, get other guys shots. They're constantly on the attack, and I think keeping the ball in front of us, keeping them out of the paint, making them take jump shots, contested jump shots off the dribble is what we're trying to do on the defensive end. So, again, we've got to handle their press well, too. I think we're going to see a little bit of that. And then we've got, again, we made some adjustments offensively, some things that we can do better, and that's what we're going to do.
Our women's basketball team dropped their first Big 12 game of the season at Oklahoma State on Wednesday, 60-59. Haley Van Lith had the ball in her hands as the game counted down and just came up short.
The game wasn't decided by your shot, make or miss. Second, I love the spirit of Haley that she wanted the ball in that moment. She wanted the opportunity to go make a play. And my guess over this season, there's going to be plenty of chances for her to have the ball at the end of the game. And so when you watch her work and train and prepare, make or miss, you know she's ready for that moment. And so we trusted her with it, and we're going to continue to trust her with it.
Despite a strong start, 15-point halftime lead, and a first-half double-double by Sedona Prince, the Frogs saw their lead disappear. Cowgirls head coach J.C. Hoyt said it was the best win of her career.
I've had some really special ones for different reasons, but this is definitely the best win in terms of beating a top 10 team, and my favorite win in terms of our crowd and just the way that they stormed the court. I mean, I wasn't expecting that at all. TCU is obviously one of the best teams in the country. When I went into this game watching film, I really couldn't find any weaknesses, and I knew that it was going to take our absolute best shot. Not our best shot, but I knew that we were going to have to play well, and that it was going to be a game that you found a way to win, because they certainly weren't going to lose without being forced to or really challenged. But I mean, they they're good. They got 3 of the best players in the country. They've got one of the best post players in the country, and one of the best point guards in the country, and one of the best shooters in the country. So that is a really tough trio to stop.
The historic Gallagher-Iba Arena came alive as the Frogs' lead lessened and stormed the court when it was all over. Campbell, in his State of the Frogs coaches show, talked about the loss.
We had the lead that we couldn't keep. In the second half, defensively, we didn't play well enough to win on the road. Going back and studying the film this morning with the staff, had great shots, and I would take those all over again that we didn't make in the second half, that we've made all throughout the year. And so in the moment, in the game, it just didn't feel like we played very well. And you go back and watch film, it wasn't as bad as I thought, and we had great opportunities and just needed to make a couple more plays down the stretch.
Yeah, I know you have a team full of veterans too, so what do you tell those after the game in the locker room?
Yeah, well, we've been talking about this stretch of the season. It's going to test you mentally. This 5-game segment, all of the games, first of all, in the Big 12, all 18 are battles. But you're in this stretch where there's 5 games against kind of the upper echelon of our league. And so you got to take it one game at a time, win or lose. And you pour yourself into it, and you prepare for it, and then you turn the page, win or lose. And so now, that was a heartbreaker. They stormed the court, which I think that shows you how far the program's come, is when a team knocks you off and they storm the court. As a program, that means it means a lot. And there is a bullseye on our back. And so our group, because they're old and they're veterans, now we got to turn the page and get ready for a really good Baylor team on Sunday.
Up next for the Frogs is Baylor, a team the Frogs have not beaten since 1990.
It's the biggest game each season on your calendar. Anytime you get to play, your rival, and especially Baylor. They've been one of the premier women's programs in college basketball for years and years. And they've won national championships and played in Final Fours and won a lot of Big 12 titles. And so this is a game you circle each year. They have an unbelievable team again this year, a great coaching staff, and they're playing really good right now. They really are. As a team, they're really starting to click. And so Sunday, it's going to be an unbelievable crowd and environment in the Schollmeyer. We need everybody to come out from Fort Worth. We need a student body to show up. But it's been a long time since we beat these guys. Now, with that being said, this year's team has never played Baylor. And so I know this group's going to be locked in. And this is what you live for. These games, when you're at TCU and you get the chance to go compete and play against Baylor, there's nothing bigger. And so it's going to be awesome. It's going to be an unbelievable women's game.
The game is tomorrow at 2 p.m. televised nationally on ESPN2, and Campbell has a message for Frog Army.
Oh, Frog Army. I mean, you don't have to say much more than it's TCU Baylor. 2 top 25 teams, 2 p.m. on Sunday. I know you guys got no class, so no excuse there. But Frog Army's been incredible in supporting us, and we need every one of them. I know earlier this year we broke the student record for women's basketball. We need to smash that record on Sunday. We need 1,000 students here, and my guess is we get them. I know Frog Army will show up for this team.
Our number 3 ranked rifle team was in action last week, taking on Ohio State and UTEP. Katie Zahn continues to dominate as she led all shooters on both days. The Frogs took 5 of the top 6 spots in small bore and 8 of the top 10. And in air rifle, they took the top 5 spots. Shooters Marissa Fedora, Meredith Stewart, Ziva Swick, and Kaylin Slaughter all record career highs. Micah Hames shot her career high on Sunday in both disciplines. They are taking on number 2 Georgia State right now at home. Indoor track and field was in Lubbock at the Corky Classic last weekend. India Mayberry and Cassie Crockett are among the nation's best in the 200-meter. Mayberry ran the 2nd fastest time in the nation at 22:78, and Crockett with the 4th fastest time for the men with a 20:69. Tabitha Nagao took 1st in the mile with a 4:50.57. The men look to continue their strong start to the 2025 indoor season, racing at the Ted Nelson Invitational today at Texas A&M. On the other side of this break, Camden will get us caught up with swimming and baseball. We will be right back.
Welcome to the Squire Shop.
We are locally owned and operated since 1994.
We specialize in the finest men's clothing that the market has to offer at affordable prices with unbelievable service.
We do custom clothing all the way to more casual, Peter Millar, Johnny O, kind of everything. Well, my dad's the owner, so I've been around retail my whole life. Oh, it's great. I mean, it's the best boss I'll ever have. I know that.
We love our TCU community. They have been so good to us. Come see us today. Go Frogs!
We are back here at the Roxo Media House Studios, and I'm Camden Stone. Our swim and dive team dominate in their final home meet with the men and women taking down Incarnate Word last weekend, and the women defeating Iowa State in their first Big 12 meet of the season. Special day for the Frogs as it was senior day.
Senior night is something, obviously, that as a freshman, you're like, oh, that's so far away, but before you know it, it's here. And I even teared up a little over there. I was like, I can't believe it's here already. 4 whole years have gone by, and we're at home. And I have so many wonderful friends who were able to make it, between my roommates who play tennis here and my friends at the Newman Center here. I had a big crowd from there, so that was really, really special. When people make the effort to take time out of their day to come and watch you and support you, it's an unexplainable feeling of love that you feel.
The atmosphere, the people, and the camaraderie. Here at TCU, we have people from all over the world, and we come together and we unite on a united goal to get better and be successful at the end of the day. And we push each other every day. And like I said, I'm really proud to be a part of this team. And TCU swimming has changed my life, and I'm really grateful for the people, the coaches, the staff, and all my teammates here.
A lot of gratitude, to be honest. I love this team, and I am so grateful to be a part of this program. I have met the most wonderful people, and the coaches are really inspiring. So I was just really happy to be here and be able to spend it with the most important people in the world. So
ever since I got in here, the team has grown tremendously, and it's a lot to thank for the coaching staff and Anthony, and back in the day, the grad assistant, Caitlin, and Anna today. So a lot to thank for that, and I think we have built something pretty good here, and at the end of the day, it's just about having fun, right? I mean, this is not the end of the journey. I wouldn't change the thing. I've been here for 4 years now, and it's been a blast, and I have the whole dive team to thank, the boys, and of course my coach Anthony. So
I mean, it's a big class, and I think it's something that we're very proud of here. In a lot of sports, sometimes getting to senior year is a huge challenge in itself, whether it's recruiting or injuries and illnesses. But for us, it's a significant tip of the cap to the team and the culture they have in place, the work they put in for each other. It's a group that has set many records. We won our 2 national championships last year, the NICs. Record-breaking Olympians, national champions in diving. I mean, it's a cornerstone class, and one that's going to be hard to replace, but one that's left a legacy here and has really invested in the rest of their teammates as well, too, that I really felt was going to put us in good stead for the future.
It was a dominant performance for head coach James Winchester in the pool, with the men winning 235-59 and the ladies 241-54. And on the boards, both swept the 3-meter and 1-meter events. Divers Anna Kwong and David Ekdahl finished with impressive scores. Kwong broke 400 with a 405.30 and Ekdahl with a 399.
It's pretty electric in here today. I mean, whenever you can get a good home crowd in here, kids bringing good energy. Winning helps as well, obviously. I mean, we just hit a good roll from the get-go. Divers were awesome here in the well. Swimmers stepped up from the get-go with some good racing, especially those relays. I mean, sometimes, like in a lot of sports, right, you just get that momentum and it just flows. So it was a great meet today.
I got a personal best, and by about 45 points, so I was really, really excited about that. It is a dual meet, and judging is subjective, as always, but I ended up breaking 400 points on 6 dives. And I honestly never thought that I would be capable of that, and so I ended up getting 415. So I was really pumped about that yesterday, and then 405 today. So
We had a great few weeks here of training camp staying here in Fort Worth, and we put in a lot of work, and it's fun to see results like today. Our hard work that we put in, the results show on the board. Today we actually completed our home sweep of home wins, so we stayed undefeated at home this season. We had a great crowd up here today. Great turnout, great atmosphere, great energy, so it was a lot of fun today.
I just want to be able to enjoy it and not be too stressed. I mean, this is a really stressful sport, and I think I will be really happy if I get to get through, championship season and know that I gave it my all and I did everything that I could to be successful. So
really, I give a lot of credit to the buy-in coming back to our seniors here of being able to help shape that over the last few years. And really, they have. They might be leaving names on the record board and legacy in the pool and legacy on the boards, but really their legacy is going to be the standard they have set for the team moving forward, and also in educating and putting their expectations of leadership and togetherness and team so the next group steps in and are ready to go. And I see it every day. I mean, I see it with the seniors coaching up the freshmen. That didn't used to happen. It's been a long time since I've seen that, and it's truly special in our sport when we can put that together.
honestly, I have no notes. I think it went wonderful. Our women's team really got behind each other yesterday, which was really cool to see. Last year we beat Iowa State for the first time in like 8 years, and we crushed them yesterday, so that was really cool, and it meant a lot to us, especially because it was our senior day. This morning was great. We got up, we raced. We had some really, really fast times. Some people were going just as fast as they went at midseason, so conference is really good. Looking forward. I'm really excited.
I would say we have a pretty good chance of doing really well, especially on the diving front. And I mean, the whole dive team was doing really well today, so I would say it looks positive. It's results don't matter if we're not happy, so we got to go in with confidence and then let the referees decide. But you know, it's all in your head and what you do, and not what everyone else does, right?
The feeling when you know that you hit something, like my 107 today, I've been getting a lot better at doing that while under pressure. It's just such a high to know underwater, like, oh, I crushed that dive.
We have a great freshman this year, Bryn. He really showed up today, and a lot of praise to him, and put a lot of pressure on all the guys, and the women did well. So we have a lot to look forward to. And
at the end of the day in swimming and diving, these are great opportunities to put up some good competitive scores and some good competitive times. I mean, I think yesterday against Iowa State, Anna Kwong, I think, put up a new score record. But this is just the beginning of the championship season for us, and that's what we're really focused on here. Like a lot of conferences, the Big 12 keeps changing, and it's changed so much in my 7 years since I've been here at TCU. But we've kept chipping away and progressing up towards the top end. Last year, the women were third overall, the men were runner-ups. Those are things that we're aiming for again this year, even with the additions of Arizona State, who are the national champions on the men's side, and Utah. So, you know, we're really looking forward to going up to Federal Way here in Seattle in a few weeks for Big 12s. The NCAA championships will be up there too. So, you know, that's what we're aspiring towards. And I think we're in pretty good position to make an intention on both of them.
You know, I always say swimming is the most individualistic team sport. So we're in it for ourselves, but for the greater good of TCU and the fans and our teammates. So the more work that I put in for myself, the better my teammates do, and we just feed off each other's energy. So swimming is a really underrated sport. Not many people understand swimming. It's a grind, it's individual, but when we all come together, we do something really special like we did today, and I'm really proud of these men and women today.
It's better to treat every day like a competition, no matter how big or small it is, and even practice.
I just love to cheer for my teammates and really get behind everybody. And so, yeah, you know, it's only fun if it's allowed swimming, and I hope that I can bring that to every competition I go to. So
the swimmers make a huge effort to come surround the dive well when we're diving, and similarly us as divers, we like to go and cheer for them as well. And like, it's like sometimes the swimmers don't really know what's going on the dive side, and divers don't really know what's going on the swim side, but it's just fun to be there for each other, you know, like you don't have to know exactly what's going on, but I'd say conference is a really great community time, building time that I'm looking forward to.
This is a great stepping stone. Swimming is just stepping stones. check the box, move on to the next goal, and that's what we did here today.
This is a really incredible group of girls, and I'm super, super excited to see what everybody's going to be able to do, especially after today. I'm really looking forward to what conference is going to bring, and hopefully NCAA's. So
everyone on the team contributes in some facet, whether it's academics, your leadership in the water, and everyone is unique in their own skill set, and they all come together to make a great team like we have here at TCU. Being a team captain for 2 years, I've had the honor and the privilege of leading these men and women. Really grateful for that experience. It's taught me a lot, and I learned something new from these people every day.
The crowd was awesome, loud, a lot of great energy, and at the same time, tip of the cap to our support staff and all the marketing and all the people we have at TCU too. It takes a village. We have great energy. We got food coming out, music, DJ. We got our announcers up in the crowd, engaging with the crowd. Crowds down here getting loud and rowdy. It's fun, and sometimes the swimming and diving, it might be a little overlooked. It's like, yeah, maybe I'll see it every 4 years with the Olympics, but really, the community has really taken us in. It's a great show that we put on here. I highly encourage, this is our last one for this year, but next year, if people want to come on down, we put on a good show, and it's a lot of fun, so don't sleep on swimming and diving.
TCU's lead team anchored by Tristan McFarland himself.
Baseball preseason practice is underway starting yesterday. They have scrimmages basically every Friday through Sunday until first pitch at San Diego, a 4-game series that gets started on February 14th. Head coach Kirk Sarlo spoke with the media yesterday. He talked about the schedule and how it will set his team up for conference play, as well as new additions to his staff, his team, and an impactful freshman class.
Yeah, we got trips to, Tucson, we got trips to Salt Lake City, to Orlando. Those are trips we haven't made before, with Utah, Arizona, Central Florida, and the other schools that are in our conference. It's different. You're used to, the conference the way it's been for a long time. And now, with so many teams entering it, it'll be fun to go to different places and, great cities. And I think our conference is wide open. I think there's a lot of talented teams. And I think there's no team that you look at on the schedule and it's like, man, this is going to be an easy weekend. And I think that just talks about the depth in which our conference is going to be. I hope we get 7 or 8 of our teams into the postseason. I think that's what we should look to every single year, is to get 8 teams into the postseason, and because I think that's what kind of baseball conference the Big 12 is. And so with our non-conference, we didn't do ourselves any favors either. San Diego's was pretty close to being a super regional team last year. They had a really tough regional in Santa Barbara, but they were pretty close to getting out of that and going to a super regional. So that's going to be a really good start to the season, followed by Globe Life with Michigan and Arkansas and Kansas State. And then the third weekend is Southern Miss, who's, I think I saw something that 11.7 Sports put out over the last 4 college baseball seasons or 3 college baseball seasons. Southern Miss ranks 12th nationally in terms of average RPI finish. We're right behind them at 14, but that tells you what Southern Miss is. And right behind us is DBU at 15. And I'd equate Southern Miss to DBU. Mid-major program that's not in one of the Power 4 conferences that you'll see in Omaha real soon. And that's the same way I think about DBU. And then Fresno State, Coach Mo's alma mater, coming to town the 4th week. So good schedule. Gonna be a fun schedule. Gonna be a tough schedule, but that's the way we want it. In the fall, we had a pretty good idea of where guys are at, but a lot of crazy stuff happens between the end of November or the beginning of November and coming back in January. And so you've seen it a ton where, some guys didn't have a great fall and come back and win a spot leading up to the season and have a great year. So, the main thing is making sure our pitchers, get their pitch counts up, and so that we start off the first 4 days of the season, we have 4 games, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So, we're going to see a lot of guys early on in the season because, you have 4 guys, you're going to see a ton of arms. We'll bring a ton of guys because we are playing 4 games in a row. So, but I'm looking forward to, guys winning spots and kind of solidify what we think we have. And then for them to kind of, compound on that and become, I want to have our lineup and our rotation set by the conference play. Sure, yeah. I mean, having Mo back is huge. I think Brody Green was around for Coach Mo, and so everybody else is learning his system, and learning how he likes to coach and what he expects of his offenses, and but it's been awesome to have him back in terms of, can almost finish his sentences when he's on the field. I know exactly what he's going to say, and when you've been around somebody and coached on this, in the same dugout for 9 or 10 years together, it's nice to have that back. And so, what does it allow me to do? I mean, it allows me to, I feel, taking the pitching in terms of working with Dave Lawn, but then also, taking the pitch calling duties and doing that again this year and being a little bit more, spend a lot more time, with the pitchers has been really, really nice to be able to kind of get back to my roots of, what got me to become a head coach was being a pitching coach. And so, getting back to that, I think has been really fun. Yeah, Jake brings a ton of wealth of knowledge. He's coached pretty much everything. He's been a hitting coach. He's been a pitching coach. He's coached catchers. He's coached outfielders. I think the only thing maybe he hasn't coached is infielders. At his stops at UW and Nevada and Cal Poly SLO and UCLA and Fullerton. So he brings a ton of value to the organization as well. So I'm really excited about our coaching staff and the cohesion and just the we like to have a good time. We like to have a good time together, and I think that trickles down to the players and knowing that we're all tackling this thing together. An older group that their freshman year went to a World Series that played, like you said, not like freshmen. They played. It was catcher, your shortstop, your Friday night starter, and your closer. And then that same group, we had a down year last year, and they experienced what it's like to not even make a regional. And so I think having them back, to be able to have them have a little bit more sense of urgency from day one, I think you've really noticed it. I've noticed it a ton. Our freshmen have noticed it a ton. This group has settled in as quickly as any other freshman group, and I think that is because of those older players. Knowing what they want and then being able to talk to the younger group about what the expectation is and how we do things around here. And that can come from a coach, but it's way better coming from, a peer, because they're going to be with each other away from the field. We're not with them, so they do a great job of holding each other accountable and making sure that we have an understanding of what we're trying to do day in and day out. And then it comes down to, like you said, getting them comfortable, and we're going to do that right away. We're going to play a ton of those young guys the first day, the first weekend, and we'll learn quite a bit about ourselves. And like I said, we hope to feel really good going into conference play. Be themselves. Be themselves. I think their first year, I think most freshmen are just wanting to play and help the team out. And then in year two, it becomes, well, now I got to do a little bit more. They don't have to do anything more. I think what they need to do is have fun playing the game and be themselves. And, that's all I want to see from them. Enjoy it, have fun, and be themselves. And if they do that, we'll be just fine. The big thing for our guys is to reach our potential in what we can do. Like you said, it's super hard to win a national championship in any sport. And I don't look at it as if you don't win it, it's not a successful season. I mean, there's success can be defined in a lot of different ways, and sometimes it's not even a win or a loss. And watching, I mean, we have a couple guys that have been in this program for 3 or 4 years that are completely different than when they entered it. And when they leave it, that's a success in my mind, that we've helped basically take on the responsibility of what mom and dad have done for the kid in terms of raising him for 18 years, and then us taking over for a little bit while he's here, and watching guys graduate and watching guys enter professional baseball ready to hit the ground running as opposed to limping into it. So I think a successful season for TCU is trying to reach our potential. And what potential is that? Not sure. Well, that's what the season will tell us.
He also spoke about the new athletics director, Mike Buddy, who has a history in baseball, pitching for Wake Forest and in the big leagues as a Brewer and the member of the 1998 New York Yankee World Series team.
Yeah, we've talked. I sent him a text when I had heard when he first got the job, and then we talked on the phone prior to his press conference, and then spoke after his press conference. He'll be stopping by. I know he gets into town, I think, starting next day or so. So he's going to be coming over to baseball and hanging out and seeing the facilities and, hanging out at the baseball field, which he's probably very comfortable doing. He kind of joked when he gets stressed as an AD, he finds himself coming over to the baseball field, whether it was at Army and his other stops. He would always find himself at the baseball field when he gets stressed, because that's kind of the way he grew up, and being on a baseball field. So it's great. I think he's going to be great, not just for baseball. I think he's going to be great for TCU in terms of his background and what he's done and where he's come from and just the human being is. That's the thing that I noticed right away was the type of person, character, morals, values, and then obviously the work ethic. You don't get to the big leagues by luck. You get there by hard work and determination, and that's what he did. And that usually, like it has with him, carries over into the professional world.
Speaking of freshmen, Noah Franco was named Big 12 preseason Freshman of the Year.
I'm truly honored to, but at the same time, work's not done. Season's not started, and there's a lot of work to be put in for the team, not only for us as a group, but we all have one goal, and that's to win Omaha, so that's all we're working for day by day. Overall, we have a top 10 recruiting class just from the freshmen singularly, and from the names of me, Sawyer Stroh-Snyder, Mason Brassfield, Trevor Baumler, and then even other guys like Andrew Carter, all the other freshmen. It's a great group of guys, a lot of arm heavy, so that comes big because arms could go down pretty quick, and just knowing you have backup, it will play big into a long season. And just on the hitting wise, younger guys pretty much dominate the lineup. Just looking at it is just really fun. Just knowing it's going to be really exciting for my years here at TCU, and just knowing the legacy you have to leave with you and your peers.
He also commented on the transition from IMG to college baseball and how the fall went and what he looks forward to.
To be honest, the change has been relatively similar to me. After leaving my home at 14, moving to Florida to attend IMG, coming to TCU and just college in general has been pretty easy as a change. Being around a new group of people has clicked on very well for me, especially with my teammates. They're now brothers to me. We do everything together, and just being around them all day, from school, all throughout the night, at the field, or hanging around each other is just great opportunity. Definitely what I expected. Just knowing Coach Mo coming back was a big key factor, and just knowing Sarlos on the mound and Sarlos as a head coach alongside with the other coaching staff was big, because having Mo amplify back his hitting situations back with this group of guys is just big, and it's going to play a lot into the year. And mainly it's just simplifying everything. I'm not trying to do too much, not trying to press. At the end of the day, everyone's talented here. It's just knowing you have talent, just go out there and have fun.
Frogball USA was picked third in the Big 12 preseason pool, and pitcher Ben Abel was selected preseason conference pitcher of the year. Of course, all Big 12 and perfect game, first team preseason All-American.
It's an honor, it really is. I really have to make sure that I don't think about it too much, just because, all this preseason stuff is cool, but it doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. It just means where I'm supposed to be. And so I'm really trying to just, put that on the back burner, not think about it too much, and really just go out there and try to play my game. I'm super pumped. I'm really looking forward to it. We have a younger team this year, but we bond really well. We've meshed really well, and I feel like this is a team that can be extremely successful this year.
Abelt was one of college baseball's top closers the last 2 years and could find himself in the rotation opening up the season.
This year is going to be more of a routine-based. So last year, I just try to get my throwing in when I could, try to long toss when I could. But this year it's going to be a lot of, all right, I need to do this on this day, and I need a long toss on this day. And it's really nailing that routine down that's going to help be successful.
Pitcher Cademan Parker was drafted to the Milwaukee Brewers, but decided to return to TCU to help this team win a College World Series.
Yeah, something that I made very clear to Sarlos, when I made the decision to come back was I'm going to do whatever it takes to help this team win. Obviously, I was hurt for the team that went to Omaha, and luckily enough, Carlos let me be there for that. And so seeing that is something that I want to be able to experience again, and I want to win a national championship for this school. So if that's starter, if that's midweek, if that's relief, if that's throwing once every 2 weeks, I don't care. I want this team to win, and I want us to do something this school has never done before. So, yeah, like I said, this group is just different. And I think that it's never been a talent thing for any TCU team. At least since I've been here, it's always been, just the group itself. How quickly can we get on board and all pull in the right direction? Because, like you see, it's not always the good teams that are the ones that just straight up win, but it's the ones that are close and the ones that are just willing to die for their teammates and just do what it takes to get to the next game. And so this team, I see a lot of that. And so these guys it's gonna be the closeness of our group that's gonna, pull the most weight, regardless of who can hit the most home runs, who can have the most strikeouts, stuff like that.
The Frogs start on the road the middle of February and then return home to Globe Life, taking on Michigan, Arkansas, and Kansas State. They open up at Lupton for the first time, taking on Tarleton State end of February. We will be back with men's and women's tennis when we return.
Energy does everything for us. It's all-encompassing.
We're all benefiting and affected from it.
And it is something that we all need to know about.
It is the glue that holds everything together.
TCU is powering what matters, our future.
We don't just talk about what's needed, we focus on results.
The Ralph Lowe Energy Institute is creating a world where energy is affordable, sustainable, and reliable.
Welcome back to the show, Frog Nation. Our men's and women's tennis teams are in action this weekend at the ITA Kickoff Weekend. The women open their season this weekend, and our number 2 ranked men's team are 3-0 on the season so far.
Coach David Roditi's team didn't have their best start last week against the Bears, but fought from behind to earn the doubles point, with freshman Albert Pedrico and sophomore Duncan Chan clinching it. Pedrico started his singles play right where he left off, and in straight sets won to extend the Frog lead 2-0 at number 5. Chan also won in straight sets, while Jack Pennington had to come back from a set down to clinch it for the Frogs 4-1.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's always nice to come down to Waco and get a win. Our men's basketball team did it last night, so it's nice to follow up what they did. It's not easy to play away from home, and they had a great turnout. The team, Baylor, fought really hard, so I'm just happy we managed to get out there with a win. I'm happy, I'm 2 from 2 tough wins at the number 1 spot. I mean, I can't, both away from home, so I'm very happy with the getting over the line, and it's nice to win ugly, and I'm not nowhere near playing my best. I'm hopefully going to recreate what I had at the end of last season as the season builds up and I get some more matches and get on the practice court a bit more. But yeah, I'm just happy to be able to help the team and get the clinch out here today. It's definitely a big challenge for us. We have, as you said, we've got 3 sort of veterans in myself, Pedro and Louis, coming off great falls. And then we've got, a lot of freshmen, the sophomore class who didn't get to play loads last year. They're going to step up. And I think it's a really cool mix of, great personalities. And the one thing that really excited me straight away, you could see everyone wants to be a professional tennis player and is working to be like one. So, everyone's getting better, everyone's pushing themselves in the practice court, and, I think it's going to be another great chance to maybe go back to back. That's why I came back. I want to do that again for TCU, and I know that we have the players, and I'm not saying, we're going to do it, but I know we're definitely going to have a chance, and that really excites me.
Coming off a sweep to Stanford last week, men's tennis is 3-0. The Bears gave them a little more fight. Here is Coach Roditi after the match.
Any win on the road against a team like Baylor, you take it. It's at the end of the day, you're here to win. So a lot of credit for that. There's just, the reason I'm not so smiley is I just thought there's things came up during the match that I believe we need to fix quickly. And these are things that we can control, and we all agree. The guys, some of these guys are on a national championship team. They know better. And I like the way they responded. I just believe we can do better. And I'm sure, I would think that Coach Woodson for Baylor would say the same thing. It's the 3rd match of the season. It's great that we got 2 really good wins and then beat ACU as well. And there's still room for growth. There's room for improvement. So that's actually a good thing. And we just got to improve it. So love these guys. Obviously, I'm just speaking completely. And they agree. It's like a wake-up call. They call it a wake-up call. Baylor came out. They punched us in the mouth right away. Got down a break in doubles in every match. Down love one, lost serve, all 3 matches. And the guys responded. It was good. I just wish we would be ready to play from the first point. That's all. So it's not a terrible thing. These guys have been working hard. They're a little tired. They've been working hard. We have a big weekend coming out, hosting the kickoff. And we learn every match, and I'm proud of them to get the win.
Come out today as the men's team takes on Pacific at 2 p.m.
If we want to be at indoor nationals, we got to get through the next 2 matches, and that means beating Pacific, and then we play the winner of Liberty and Michigan State. Michigan State's one of the hottest teams right now. Some people would say they're a top 10 team. I agree with that. They're hot, they're energetic, and that's going to be an absolute war. If we get the chance, we got to get through Pacific first.
That will do it today. Catch the end of the rifle meet as it will go all day. As we mentioned, tennis is at 2 p.m. in the indoor TCU facility. Men's basketball at UCF at 3 p.m. And of course, tomorrow, the TCU-Baylor rivalry continues with women's basketball at 2 p.m. In case you missed our State of the Frogs coaches shows with Jamie Dixon and Mark Campbell, watch them on our website at frogstoday.com. Brendan Wenzel and Women's Associate Head Coach Xavi Lopez were featured guests.
Thanks for joining us today. The only media outlet that covers all of TCU athletics. Stay connected for dynamic, original content right here at Frogs Today. I'm Camden Stone.
And I'm Mallory Martyr. For everyone here at Roxo Media House, this has been Frogs Today for Saturday, January 25th. Thanks for watching. Go Frogs!
Roxo Media House.